Yay.
Yeah, you have a spell expended.
Yay! You get full hit points back, and any spells that you use refilled for another day. And as you get up, I'm guessing like who would be the first one up out of all three?
Me definitely, because monastery I had to wake up at like 4 a.m. every fucking morning.
I
so.
feel like I'd be somewhat like close considering I'm. Oh wait, because no,
No, I don't. I feel like elves wouldn't sleep for really long.
No, I meditate.
I mean,
How do I check that?
both Antia and Porik have trance, so you sleep 4 hours and you're pretty much up at
That'd
like
be up before me, yeah.
you would be up at midnight, but you would be like milling around your room, you know, having a long rest.
Yeah, they'll definitely wake up.
So
Before.
Antia, you probably like get up out of your room. I'll say Porik, you'll be later than Antia, because Antia was in the tavern before you guys. And you're up. You see downstairs. There's like a few of the few more, like not as many of the militiamen that you saw during the day here. There's still a few, but you see them all like getting ready and stuff. Like there's this coffin, and you see the dwarf. He's it seems like they've gotten someone to bandage all these like cuts along him, so he looks more natural. And instead of this horrified like look of pain and expression on his face, they've put a bandage over his eyes, and then they've closed his jaw, so he looks like he's in a like more peaceful resting state. Okay. And he's got like his hands like bundled up on his side, sort of like what you'd imagine a vampire sleeping in a coffin would look like. And he's sort of naturally, it's enough to fit him. It's not a massive coffin, so it's dwarf sized, and it's got like mesh underneath it, not mesh, like cushion under it, and it can flip over and it'll encase the body in the coffin itself. And it's got railings along the side of it so people can lift it up, and you can see that Rosca is near, like he like sounds groggy as fuck. It seems like he woke up before you guys and hasn't been doing much, and has been helping out preparing. Like you could see him's like, hey, we'll hang that over there. We'll make sure everyone has seats. We'll make sure that a hole is dug before. We'll make sure it's a proper burial. We'll bring in the dwarven priest to say a few words, and then we'll do that. And he's like sort of stumbling around. He's still got all his gear on, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
None of it's taken off.
Okay.
All called hallucinatory terrain. Can I make like everybody go on a drug trip like later on when I get it? Or if I get it.
I'll remember to keep you in my back pocket for a party.
I know it takes 10 minutes to cast, but still drug trip.
Okay.
So aren't you're down, you see like Roscoe, he's probably got one of the railings, and he's like, come on, let's start getting this ready. We'll get it early out of the day so we can get to work.
Is he talking to me?
No, he's talking to like all the militiamen, and all the militiamen are like, yes, Commander.
Well, I run up to him and like wave then.
He looks at you and he's like, yeah, good morning. I haven't had much good sleep, as you can probably tell. And you can see like he's rubbing something out of his eye. Still unsure of what he is.
Alright then.
And he's like, you can tell just by how strong he is, he's sort of like lifting part of the coffin without much help. And the militiamen are like, please, let us do it. And he's like, no, I must do it. He was a dear friend of mine.
If they try and get him to put it down again, I wave him away. Because yeah.
It's like, no, they're just trying to help. They're looking after me,
Okay.
But I need to do this.
I'll stick by him then. I'll just follow him wherever he's... Well, I'll help if I can, if he needs it, and if I can, so...
I'll say after some time, like, the bartender's probably like, you see the bartender walk out of, like, a back room, and he's in, like pajamas, like, full nighty gear, and he's like, oh, I didn't realize you were all going to be up this early. Hello.
Didn't either.
Hello, girlie. And he's, like, waving, but you can tell there's still, like like sand in his eyes. He's sort of like stumbling a bit. He's a bit worn. He's like, give me 10 minutes and I'll have the bar up and running.
I know.
We'll start this day off with a kick.
Okay.
And he's like taking off like this sleeping cap. He's like taking off his shirt, putting on these like bartender keeping clothes, and he's like getting out all the like these washed cups and stuff, and he's like getting out the ale and everything. It takes him some time, but he sets up the bar. And you can already see like militiamen like already like one of them is just going to town, just be like more and like finishing the drink more. And in about like 5 minutes, you can see that guy's already hammered and just passes out on the floor.
Good job, mate. Good
And
job.
Roscoe's just like kicks him. He's like,
Disrespectful.
I told you not to start the day off like this. And the
I shake
barkeep
my
just-
head.
The barkeep just like looks at Roscoe and says, I need to make a coin somehow. And he's like, I'm not blaming you, it's just this idiot over here. We'll make sure he'll have his pager. And he begins he's over he's put the guy over his shoulder and he's just walking him upstairs. He's like, I'm going to put him into his room, and he walks upstairs.
Okay.
At this time, I'd say Porik, you'll probably like hear the bit of commotion downstairs. So you're probably like, oh, something's happening. So if you
I peer out of my room.
you can see that this giant muscular guy holding this passed out drunk who's like for some reason has one pant leg, like one pant leg. His pants, one of his pant legs has been ripped off. He's wearing no shirt, and he looks like barely like banged up. And he's like, "Come on, we'll get you to his room." And like he tries to open a door, he can't open the door. He checks the pockets of the guy. He can't find the key, so he just kicks in the door and then throws him onto his bed and just like. He's going to pay for that, and then he proceeds to walk back downstairs. And he sees you and he says, good morning. Sorry about yesterday. Just don't do stuff like that around here. Everyone's a bit on edge."
I ask him if I can take the pant leg on the ground.
No, like the pant leg hasn't been ripped off. It looks like it's been like there. It looks like he just his pants have just been ripped for ages.
Oh, okay. Should I sneak my way into his room?
Roscoe.
What the fuck?
Roscoe's room?
Into
No,
the
The
broken
guy who
down.
had one pant leg missing.
Oh, okay.
Cadet Johnny, sure, you can go, like Roscoe's just like, we'll be having a funeral in a few hours. Just if you're interested to pay your respects to the dead, you're allowed to come. And then he proceeds to walk downstairs. And then, as you can see, there's no one else around, so you're free to just sort of
Sneak
mosey
in
up.
there and take his pants.
All right.
So you mosey up into this drunk's room.
God.
He's just like, oh, yeah, there's a bit of vomit already on his bed. And you look into his room, there is nothing but just ripped and torn clothes lying all over the place.
Oh
Like-
no, I just take the pants that he's wearing.
Yeah, no,
Doesn't
but I'm
matter
just
if there's
saying,
anything in it.
in his room, there's just ripped clothes everywhere. No, in his room, there is clothes lining the floor. You can't see the wood, and not one set of the clothes is like in any well condition. It's all like ripped, torn, sweat stains, food stains all over them.
But no, I reckon I could still try to sell it. So I'll still try to take the pants off of him.
So you unzip it, like you just. It's kind of hard because you have to pull it off with one pant leg. I'll give you a strength check. I'll say you like are able to tug it off with enough strength, but not too much, so the pants are well enough intact. So it's not like another rip. It's still got one pant leg, and you just like sort of rolls around. It's like, oh, and then vomits a bit more, and like rolls, and then rolls into it.
Okay, I walk out with his pants.
You have one ruined pair of pants.
Austin, what the
Missing
fuck?
leg.
Add that to
Hey,
your
I could try to
inventory.
sell it.
Add it to your inventory, I guess.
One ruined pant leg
Alright,
Pants.
then.
without leg. One leg.
So Auntie, you see Roscar like walk downstairs. You heard like a sound that sounded like someone kicking in a door, and Roscar's like sitting down, and he just goes to the barkeep and says, the cadet will be paying for the broken door," and the tavern owner's like, "Fuck me! Can you stop breaking in the doors?" He's like,
I just laugh.
We'll be getting a fucking job soon. We'll give you the money then. He's like, all right, but seriously, can you stop doing it? The carpenter's gonna think I'm trying to pull some sort of scandal. He's like, well, deal with it when it comes. And he just sort of huffs off and just like sits down next to the casket and like picks up an ale. The barkeep's just like, yeah, looks at him, just gives him like a reassuring nod, and he's just like a single movement, just sculls the ale down, puts it back on the thing, and just sits down. And you see this elven woman, sort of dark toned skin, this wild hair, fold up this muttied pair of trousers and put them into her pack, looking quite pleased with herself. And just, this woman's quite tall in size, and just walking down this sort of daintily figure with these like sort of ratted clothes.
Jesus, okay.
You can see that she's kind of armed as well. And oh my fucking god! But what have you been eating fluff? I think my cat's been eating fluff around the room.
Oh no, that's okay.
There's just fluff hanging from his fucking lip. So you see that she is armed as well. There's a curved sword along her side and a wooden shield.
Nothing suspicious about that. Not in this tavern, not right now. Anyway.
You just assume like maybe some outside help.
Yeah.
And you just see her walk down. What do you do when you get to the bar?
Gray, what? Are you watching Netflix?
Oh, okay. An ad might have opened up. I don't fucking know. So, Porik, when you enter the tavern, you see that the mood has shifted from this homey feel to this more morning feel. As you can see, this casket with this dwarven body bandaged up in the middle of it, and like it is built specifically for this dwarf. It seems like the dimensions are all right. It looks like it's been tailor-made, and there's railings across the side of it so people can lift it up.
Like
And as you've been told, there's going to be a funeral in a couple of hours.
Hey, see if we can try to get a free drink. Just go up to the tavern keeper and try to woo him.
Yeah, there are drinks out on the tavern, and he just says to you, if you want a drink, just take them. They're free for today.
Oh,
I shouldn't have said that.
take
I shake my head.
3 tall mugs.
He
and
just like
fill them.
he just like or whatever. He like pours you these 3 tall mugs of ale.
I drank them.
What's your con at?
What's my what?
Con.
Con.
So Constitution
Yes.
+1.
You pass out. You're like, oh, that was a bit stronger than expected, and then you pass out on the ground. And the keep's just like, not another door! As he like holds his hands up to his head, he's like, oh! Like, and Roscoe's just like, he just looks at this elven chicken, he's just like, no, I'm not putting this one in a room.
I shake my head.
Stay here.
I shake my head in agreement with him. I'm not doing that either.
I'd say by this time, Sparrow, you're getting woken up. You just hear the barkeep just be like, my doors! And you get sort of woken up. It's sort of like, it's dusk, so it's sort of like 5, like in the morning. So you're like, oh, you're having a pleasant night's sleep, and you're like, you hear the commotion downstairs. What are you going to do? Sparrow?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, what? What are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get woken up by the barkeep going, "My doors!" And it's like 5 a.m. in the morning,
Okay.
and you had a pleasant night's sleep. You had a long rest.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
I decide to get up and check what's going on.
So you walk downstairs. You see Porix just passed out on the floor. And there's just one of the mugs, like, there's two empty, like, tall mugs on the table, and one of them's, like, half finished pouring out on top of Porix's head. That childhood crush feeling sort of going away, and you're like, is this person a drunkard?
Jesus Christ.
Bartender, what happened here?
The bartender looks at you and says, she tried to drink way too much. That's what happened here. I told her that drinks were free, and she just poured herself those mugs and decided to drink them all.
Huh, I see. Does that offer apply to me?
Yes, all drinks are free while the funeral's happening today.
Hey, you should try to take me to your room.
I don't think he wants that anymore.
I'm just a bit cautious.
Plus, he's a halfling, and you're like more than twice his size.
More than triple his height.
Yeah, it would be funny to see him struggle up the stairs.
Roscoe would laugh.
I take one of the tall mugs.
You take one of the tall mugs, and the bartender pours you.
Can I please have it?
Yeah, he pours you a tall mug and he says, "Now don't do what she did and drink it all at once." I'm guessing you're drinking it moderate. I'm thinking you're drinking it moderately, like you're not sculling it. You're just going like a sip every once in a while. Yeah, with that, it's not like a full like very strong. It's sort of like sipping water. It's got a taste to it. It's kind of nice. It's not fully alcoholic, so it's just like you're not buzzed, but you're getting that like sort of feeling.
I don't know. I feel it's fully alcoholic. I feel like since he's a halfling, he would just like instantly be knocked out by it.
They're pretty hardy. They have drugs all the time.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, half. And then dwarves.
Whereas I'm a person who's never really done much for drugs, so
Well, look
Yeah,
at
you're just passed out before.
Yeah, look at all 2 meter tall here. He's fucking knocked out.
The halfling's
Hey, they
taking
were
it like a fucking champ.
Yeah.
And
And I'm having one, and I'm
have three.
Just
Pass
having
out
one.
with it.
He's
uh,
challenged.
no, I'm not an idiot.
and Roscoe goes to you. Roscoe like turns to you and says, "Good man, knows how to handle his drinks, unlike this one."
Thanks, Roscoe. Where's the?
I don't
where's
drink,
the funeral?
so.
Wait.
I'm guessing Antia's just around the area, so Antia would
She's
see you
sitting
when you
next to
come.
Roscoe. She's like always
Wait, she
around
is?
him, pretty much. Because
Wait, she is. Okay.
Sparrow's become severely unreliant as of late, to be brutally honest.
So you see Antia just next to Roscoe, and she just, I'm guessing, like she'd wave at Sparrow.
Yeah, she'd wave. Yeah.
Auntie, I finally found you guys. We need to talk later. Let's do it after the funeral.
I nod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I nod. Yeah, we need to talk. But are we talking across the room actually? Because you're at the bar.
Yeah,
I'm with Roscoe, aren't I?
You can do the
Yeah,
theater.
Roscoe's near me.
You can do the theater whisper where you're talking normally.
Oh, okay.
So yes, you are whispering. So you could be like, "Hey, we need to talk later." And if you want to include anyone, just say it's loud enough. I'll make it so it's loud enough for them to hear. So I'm guessing you're saying it to Roscoe and Antia.
Yeah.
And Roscoe will be like inquisitive and be like, "What's this about?
I don't know what he's on about too, so I shrug.
What's this all about, Sparrow?"
Oh,
As Sparrow's having a mental breakdown.
No.
the dial-up noise is happening in his head.
Holy
So-
shit! I got a resurrection spell. 9th level.
Later on, your first level. You don't get it at first
I
level.
know.
Cheating.
So what's this about, Sparrow?
Something I found out when I was heading out. Right, Cat caught up with you guys.
Okay, I nod. That's good enough for me.
Oh, all right, we'll talk about it later. I'm trying to keep the accent, but it's so hard to remember that it's this
Try to
guy.
do Professor X. That'll do it for him.
All right, we'll talk about it later.
I will cleave you in half.
You are now dead.
Like, didn't he shove Paul's hammer up his ass? Like,
Before you shove your hammer up your anus.
Auntie, you will speak. Auric, you will have a bath.
What Roscoe just says it. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Then after the funeral's finished, we'll see each other later. And as you can see, you see the Alfred, like you see the iron door get the barkeep goes over to the iron door, opens it, and you see Alfred the scribe walking. And he's like in this more black than usual attire than where you saw him. He's like. He's got his hands together, they're kind of shaking. He's bowing his head, respect, and saying, "Hello, everyone."
Yep.
Hello, everyone. And then Dorothy comes in, sort of still wearing her library, but she's got sort of that mesh over her face, and she's just like, "Evening, everyone." And you can tell that she's holding back a few tears, and this dwarf walks in. This other female dwarf walks in this.
yeah.
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 Everybody there?
Hello.
Okay, so I'm sitting on a table, maybe. Ross. Oh,
Yeah, I'm back.
okay. He goes back to, I think.
Greg, get in there. There he is.
There he is.
Okay, so Dorothy comes in. She's got the mesh over her face while still wearing her library clothes. You can tell that she's holding back a few tears.
Oh. Okay.
And in behind her, this dwarven woman in this white robe with a hood over the top. In one hand, there is a book, and it has a symbol of a platinum dragon inscribed in here, with a lock, like a heavy lock over the book. And in her other hand, she holds a staff with a very similar dragon-ish motif on it. And she says, "I will be performing the sermon today for Ulrich here, and may Bahamut guide his soul to the afterlife." And everyone gets up and starts performing the ritual funeral. So you see Rosca at the front of the casket with 4 other of the militia members lifting up his the casket and holding it outside. And outside you can tell that there's this fenced off area, and it's sort of hill-like in that it sort of curves up, and at the top of the hill there's this big oak tree that curves around, and you can tell that there's a hole that's dug out near the oak tree, and everyone sort of goes around the hole. The casket is lifted up, and everyone's making their way over to the hole. They get over to the hole. The cleric is at one side of the hole, and everyone else is on the other side, and says, "Now, before we lay the body to rest fully, would anyone So the cleric says, "Does anyone have any words to say for Ulrich here?"
Am I still passed out?
You are still passed out on the floor. No one has bothered to help you. So the cleric says, "Does anyone have some words here for Ulrich, the smith maker?" And Ross, first, Alfred stands up and says, "For as long as I have known Ulrich, he was a good dwarf. He knew how to work the forge, but he also knew how to cheer people's days up. This isn't how I talk. I talk like this, the old man voice."
Okay.
And he knew how to put smiles on everyone's faces, and he was fair and just to all in this. Whoever came to his shop was always met with a fair deal. And then Dorothy comes up and says, for as long as we've been apart, my ex-husband Uruk and we've still been together at heart. It has been hard, don't get me wrong. We had our disagreements in the past, but I think if he was still here with us today, we would both agree that we missed our days when we were together. And like tears start streaming down her face, and then she says, I hope that whoever has done this to him is brought to justice, but I do not wish for them to be slain. That will not help the situation
Too
here.
bad.
And Dorothy passed away, and then Roscoe steps up, and he sort of he unfurls and says, for as long as I've known Uruk, I know it's a common trend, but it's all I can think of saying. He has been fair to me and my kind. Even if my kind is the lowest class in the city, he knew how to treat us. And he begins to lift up his hood to reveal what he is.
Oh.
And as he lifts it up, you see this draconic face peer through with this long snout, with sort of spiky figures all over it. These blue scales all over his body with these brown embryonic eyes, with this electricity bouncing off his scales. So help me. He's a dragonborn.
Dwarfakin!
Gobakin, what are these for? In game, yes, Dragonborn can actually speak Draconic.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. So, and he says, so help me, whoever done this to Uruk will pay. I will swear it, for my name is Roska, the Tempest.
Black him.
And you can see that he unsheaths his swords, points it up to the sky, and it crackles with electricity.
I am awed. I am
if I wasn't
fucking
passed out,
amazed.
I'd just be making sarcastic quips to him.
You're passed out.
I was about to
I
say,
know,
you
but if
can't
I was-
choose if you're passed out or not.
I know, but if I wasn't, I would be doing that.
Well, I'm glad you are knocked out then. I would have knocked you out if you did that. I would have actually knocked you out.
And all the
I
militia
take
members,
note of
and you can see he gets rid of the giant cloak on top of him, and you see all he's wearing this chainmail underneath his common clothes, and you see all the militia members nod their heads and give a salute.
Wow.
And then the cleric says, and by Bahamut's will, we will lay this all to rest. And then Roscoe at the front, this big, muscular, blue dragonborn, lifts, grabs the front of the casket. Three other militiamen grab the ends of it. They put it into the ground, and it folds. The railing seems to fold up inwards into the thing, and it gets lowered in. And as it gets lowered in, the militiamen all lift up their short swords. Roscoe lifts up his long sword, and then breathes out this brilliant lightning from his mouth as a send off.
Oh, Jesus. I do a little prayer from my monastery and just just that.
Yeah.
Porik vomits slightly.
Porrick is lying on the floor with vomit coming out of her mouth, just little dribbles.
What's Sparrow doing?
I just close my eyes and bow my head.
Okay.
This is where I wish I took that language that just makes you put images in people's heads. So I could just, drunkenly put images in people's heads.
Hey, look at these tits. No, stop!
And then, Roscoe goes to meet with you, Sparrow, and says, you had something to talk about? Oh, you had something to talk about?
I'll be back grabbing pizza.
Okay.
What?
He's
okay.
grabbing food.
Okay.
So Roscar's going over the sparrow and says, "Now, what was this that you need to talk about?" Porrick is, for all you know. Hold on. Let's see if you can make a medicine check.
I was gonna say I just have a quick glance forward, making sure
I'm still rolling a medicine check. You think Porrick is dead?
Oh.
I feel bad. I'll have to go over there.
I'll say with the 9, Roscar's just like, don't worry about her. She's just passed out.
I nod. I nod.
I sigh. I sigh a breath of relief. Okay.
Okay.
While I was off looking around when I diverged from you guys, I'm that's like I word it properly.
Do you want me to help you out? You could say that you got a divine message.
I got a message of some kind that I cannot remember when I was under the tower.
Jesus
Can you
Christ.
hear me?
Not a lot of the time, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like you're talking and then it keeps talking and then it does this again.
Someone was talking to me and telling me to check under the ruins of the city.
Can I roll to know if I know what that's on about?
That
That will be a religion check.
Fuck, +1.
Fucking hell.
What?
Do you get it?
You've okay. So I have to word this pretty well. You know that there have been some deities and even demons that have been praised underneath cities in
Jesus.
secret of how dark their pasts are. You know that it is very hard to find these hidden temples, as they are very well hidden, as any prayer to these gods is seen as like blasphemy to every other god. And same thing with the like demon princes. So you know that if there are ruins underneath the city, they are going to be difficult to find.
And I can't convey that, so I'm just going to silently
Yes,
listen
you
on.
can. You can talk.
You can
I'm
decide.
choosing not to. I consciously choose not to tell him. I'm just listening. I want to hear. Look, I don't know where he got this information from, and I know this is valid, so I want to know where it's from first. So I'm listening.
So let me finish off. So when you guys were heading to the pub, I decided to search around for a bit, I searched around for a bit, got chased.
And then
by
a giant cat comes in meowing all over the place.
Oh no! My
I got
worst
chased.
nightmare.
Got chased by some bandits. Once I thankfully lost them.
You hear in the distance, "Hey, where you go?"
Do I notice him shake?
Like, or you just hear in the distance, like, "Where you go?"
What was
You want to see if he gets shaken by that?
Yeah.
Insight.
Yeah, inside. +5.
Are you hiding the fact that you're shaken by that, Sparrow?
It'd be deception, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
My
+5 for insight, and your deception is +3. You look at him as you can't really tell if those words had any effect. Those words just sort of came out of nowhere.
Okay.
So you sort of all just went like a bit backwards, just like what? What was that?
Okay, I'll ignore it. I'll put it in the back of my mind.
As I was saying, when I talked to Dorothy and Alfred over here, and they said that apparently there was no such thing as a town. There were shrines outside the town.
No. You got it a bit wrong. So this is just DM clearing up the information. It's not that they told you that they told you there was no ruins in town, but they told you that the abandoned temples might have stuff.
But
But you know that these gods wouldn't be hidden.
and there was also I also when I was also being chased by the bandits, I also saw an abandoned area. I didn't have time to go into it. and I don't quite remember where it was, but if anything, it's either there or the temple.
I just say useful really quietly in a sarcastic fucking tone.
Perception check from Sparrow. What's your perception at?
My deception's +5, I'm just saying.
No, perception check from
Your
Sparrow.
deception.
Off a
My
Sparrow.
perception. Oh, my perception's 0. Shit.
Okay, deception's +5. Sparrow, you're able to hear that Auntia said useful underneath her breath. Very quietly. I'm seeing if Roscoe's able to is like, so you do talk, I see.
She
Not a lot.
rarely talks, my friend.
Alright, useful information.
Oh,
Does no
I
one
also
catch
read
on to
one-
the sarcastic tone? Because...
No, they all caught on
Oh.
onto it.
Oh, okay. No, moving on.
I think we should, no, sorry.
Jesus
Hold on, you're
Christ.
roboting right now.
Sorry?
Hold on, you're roboting right now.
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
If we are to search for these runs, I suggest we make use of her. Just
Who's
point
her?
Point to Pork at the bottom.
I nod.
Which
Wait, no, I shake my head.
Roscoe looks and says,
I shake my head, actually. Yeah, I'm just like, nah, actually, nah.
"Are you an idiot?"
Yeah, I agree with him. I nod my head at that. Yes.
I notice she has equipment on her. She's got a fairly decent
I
setup.
shrug. So? We have equipment!
You realize how much almost died to... Do you realize how much
Roscoe
almost died?
looks at you and says, he points to Alfred and says, he has equipment too. And then points at Dorothy, so does she. And then points to this random drunk guy, so does he.
I don't care who it is. We nearly died back in that cellar. We need some help. If we're gonna
Ross-
have to search for the shrine.
Wait a minute. That's you remember the stone door the wizard came out of? Where did that go to? We need to go back there.
That went to outside. That's how you got out of the tavern.
Oh, okay.
So it led up to the main street. That's another thing for Porrick I should have said. I'll just tell you guys, but your characters don't know this. That area has been concreted in.
Oh, okay. Well,
Your characters don't know this. You know it.
Okay.
I say what now?
Roscoe looks up and notices that there's someone walking into getting led into the tavern, and you see that his face goes from curious to I want to fucking kill that thing in an instant,
Oh.
and he's just like he's like fast walking up to it, and he's just like, what the fuck are you doing here? And like pulls out his sword and like points it towards the figure.
Okay. Who's the figure?
The tavern owner's sort of like putting up his like hands and he's just like trying to back off from the situation. And he's just like, he's here to see you. I'll give you both perception
I was
checks.
gonna say, can you give some checks?
Mine's +3. Yes.
Mine 0.
He already knows. So I'll say you're both able to figure out quite easily that this is someone wearing sort of noble military attire, you know, like commanding officer sort of cavalry unit.
Like from
They had-
fucking Code Geass.
Sort of like that Confederate sort of feel. And he's
Okay.
got like sort of a cutlass to his side, and you notice that he isn't half orc.
I watch.
With these tusks pointing out, and he's got like this hair that's been like coned back, and he's got sort of officer's cap on top of his head. And you can tell because you're not close enough to hear the conversation. You just see them conversing.
Yeah.
The sword's still getting pointed at him, and a note gets handed over to Roscoe.
Yep.
He looked like he opens up the note, still holding the sword towards the figure's throat, and reads it. And apparently it's written in meows, as my cat's trying to demonstrate.
Jesus.
Meow! I might have to let him out after this. And he's getting food. He's pizza. Which is good, because his character doesn't know any of this shit.
That's good.
he reads a note. He lowers the sword, like puts it back into his sheath, and says, "Yeah, you hear this because it's very loud. If I ever see you back here, I will."
I will.
So the door still being open, he walks out. Iron door gets shut over, and Roscoe grabs the table and throws it against another table.
All right.
And then the barkeep's just like, "My tables!"
Is this the cabbage guy from Avatar?
And then he puts down like a gold piece on the counter.
Okay. Interesting.
Can I roll for persuasion to Roscoe to who?
I am back.
Okay, your character's still passed out, so you're not hearing any of this.
Okay.
So you're going to roll. What do you want to do?
Roll for persuasion to get information of who was that.
Oh, he just basically says, "An old cunt."
I don't question anything. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Who he is not important.
Yep.
We just got a job to do,
Ooh, now I'm excited.
and I fucking hate it.
Oh.
We're investigating the recent murder of a half-orc noble known as Gramash the Wise. He was second in line to becoming the ruler of Steelbell, and he's been murdered today.
When?
When? Yeah. When? Where?
Details, I just say.
An hour. All we know, it was an hour after midnight, and there was no one else found at the scene.
I nod.
And he leans in close to you, Sparrow. If any fucker's gonna know what ruins are underneath this city, it'll be the half-orc hierarchy.
Okay, I'll help you out.
Pork. I look over to her and quietly say her
He looks down
name.
and he says, "I'm going to have to babysit this one." And he like lifts her up over her shoulder and says, "We'll wake her up along the way. A carriage is coming in 10 minutes."
Oh, glad to see you change your mind about it.
I'm not changing my mind. I'm making sure that she doesn't burn anything down.
I'm looking at her angrily. Well, not angrily, just like, why do I have to be with her?
And you both notice that there's this angry dwarf, like waving a stick outside of the dwarf, outside, and going, "That's her. That's the one that tried to burn down the thing." And then Roscoe just says, "I'm going to make sure she doesn't do anything. Until then, shut the fuck up."
Hang on. So she
I
committed
mean,
a crime?
if I'm still passed out, so I can't.
She damaged property? Did she pay for it?
Well, yeah, she did.
Yeah. She did.
Okay.
The dwarf is like backs down and says, "All right, I'll keep it quiet. She did pay for it,
Oh, okay.
but make sure she doesn't do anything fucking else. We can't have someone burning down everything. Not with those half-orcs wandering around." And Roscoe's just like, "Yes, I know."
I'm half tempted to, while we're leaving the town, just like throw a fireball in there.
I will just kill you. I am telling you right now, I will just disembowel you.
Do I need to change your character sheet to chaotic evil?
No.
You are not being a neutral person.
I was gonna say, but like fireball's a good idea. But
Don't
like,
you have
that
to
is
forcefully
no-
change their alignment if they do like too negative or positive of a thing?
If I will change alignment if I feel like that character is not being their alignment.
Okay. Well, I feel like he's not being fucking neutral.
Hey, so far that was an accidental throw. It was.
Oh, it actually was. Yeah, it actually was.
You're
Yeah.
just being a violent drunk.
No, she meant to throw.
I'm
that
not
up.
violent. So
You
far,
are.
I've just been trying to
You are.
scare
You are.
money out of people.
You lit a sign on fire.
You're
Trying
being
to kill somebody for stealing my smashing my fruits.
All right.
Okay,
One of
let's,
which he ate after it was stuck in his pants.
Okay,
Wow.
we're just gonna continue.
and as you hold on to the carriage, you are taken. The carriage like goes pretty fast at breakneck speed. The driver is a half-orc, but in like sort of that fancy sort of attire, and he's got like monocle on. No, not who would be driving it. There would be a half-orc, yes, but he's in that sort of like old, that classic young boy wear that they have in all the fucking old movies
Yeah.
for like Victorian area movies.
I was about
Yeah,
to say
he would be
same.
wearing that, and he's like All right, get in. I'll take you right to this where we need to go, and you go down the main street, take a right, and then you like take a left, and I'll tell you now.
Do you have
this
a
is
map
like
or something?
Am I still passed
over
out?
my head. I'm going to
Yeah,
activate.
right.
I'm going. You're still past. You'll wake up at like the end of the fucking thing.
Damn.
You drank 3 ales, fuck up.
You sculled 3 ales. You said I drink them. You didn't say I drink. I drink one moderately. You said I drink them, as in all.
I guess I am pretty screwed up then. I'm gonna wake up with a giant hangover
She's
and
a
get like.
Yes,
fucking liability.
Roll con. Yes, you'll wake up with a hangover.
God damn it.
And you like it is a long drive, and it's sort of very silent because Roscoe's just sort of fuming, and
Yeah.
like you hear like cracklings of lightning inside of his jaw. Just
I'd like to
I am
vomit
still
on him.
amazed by him. Just like, oh, so cool.
I'm just trying to go over all the facts that I have. So
I'd like to vomit
yeah,
on the
not
person
really.
holding me.
No one's holding you. You're just sitting in the cart. Like no one's got you fastened down.
you're like
Didn't say
on the
Ken
ground
shit.
and you vomit in front, like on the ground, but your face is facing the ground, so you're just lying in your own vomit.
Damn it.
Deneb is gonna reward you greatly later on. I feel.
No, he rewards rolls, not stupidity. As Moira would say, stupidity is not a right.
True.
And then the carriage stops 3 hours in. Porik, you wake up with a splitting hangover and something smells rancid. You look up and your clothes are just covered in vomit. You got vomit all over your face. Your hair's just like dipped in it. You are filthy. Utterly
I
filthy.
shake my head.
I'd like to use a guidance on.
I silently
Rorik?
call him an idiot in Elven.
I can hear.
I was gonna say
I don't care if you can.
I
I'm probably gonna swear at him, and I'm gonna probably swear at him Infernal. Infernal.
You're speaking demon tongues.
Oh, I can only understand common and Elven.
Yes.
So what's he doing to me?
I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying if I did, you wouldn't understand. I'm doing it to
Wait,
him.
can I understand common?
Oh, there's character sheets in the back.
What?
There's a few character sheets in the back, I think.
Huh?
There's a character sheet in the back of my player's handbook.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Only the one.
So what's happened? Am I getting attacked?
No, what's happened is I'll have to play it out because apparently I'm the only one that actually heard it out. Porik just woke up. You swore in Elven, and then Sparrow was swearing at Porik in Infernal.
I'd like to write lewd druic things all over the card.
All right. There's just I'll say there's just a message that says if you need a good time, go to the Iron Banner and ask for Porik in Druidic.
Wow. I shake my head. I can't read it, so I don't,
Well,
actually,
yeah,
I don't react.
You don't know who he said.
Yeah, I don't
No one
react.
knows what he said.
Yeah.
We can't read.
I bring out my map, actually, to look at where we are.
We'll get after Sparrow sworn in Infernal and Porik has written into the thing.
Mm.
You just hear a thunder like cacophony, thunderous like blast come out of fucking Roska's mouth, and just says, "We move now." And it's sort of like the doors swing open, and he's got a cloak over him now. It's not as like highly done up as before, so you can actually tell that he's a blue dragonborn now.
Okay.
So he's a lot more identifiable. And he walks out and he says, "I still fucking hate this place."
I was gonna say.
I look at my map.
I walk over to Paul, tell her, "Let's go." I'll explain on the way. And then-
I clutch my head and follow.
And
yeah.
Auntie, I'm guessing you walk out as well.
Walk out of the wagon or whatever we're in.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
walk
yeah, I
with,
get it. I follow Roscoe. I'm behind him every fucking step. I'm his shadow, basically.
You see all along the street are just like high strung, like very high class houses with like mansions every so often.
Wow.
And they've got private guards, and they look like, before you saw the guards that were in like the back of the city, which were like the half orcs with like the spears and stuff. These are full plate half orc guards with like axes, long swords, like giant tower shields,
Wow.
and they're like they're guarding like the mansions and these like high class things. And you like see a lot of perception check. Is that the D20? That's the D20. So everyone's perception.
Plus
Uh,
I'm not rolling for
4.
Roscoe because he already knows. So
0.
so 0,
4.
Porik, 4,
3.
3. Okay, so Sparrow, Porik. Porik's gonna fucking know this instantly. Antia. Antia's gonna know this pretty instantly. I'll say you all pretty much know this. Every noble that you see along this street that you can see, half orc.
Oh Jesus.
Or even orc. Just full-blooded, like 7-8 foot tall, muscular thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeesh.
I'd like to say hi in Orcish to all of them.
They look at you and call you lower life form in Orcish.
I swear at them in Elven.
We don't understand.
No,
all.
I don't. I don't.
We don't. Wait, does Austin?
I have Orcish.
Speaks Orcish.
So yeah, me and Auntie are just like look at him.
I just look.
cautiously.
I'm scared. Well, not. I'm not scared. I'm just like worried, basically.
Yeah, I'm just
The
looking
half-
around.
The half orcs seem very aggressive towards all of you, but especially towards Roscoe. They like a few of them get out their blades and like shining them towards him. Like the guards, they're just like stoic, but some of the like half orc nobles like with rapiers and stuff like ha ha, and like Roscoe looks at them, and a few of them actually like start like backing away very frantically. Very few of them actually meet his gaze and stand there. Only very few of them do.
Can I use my insight to check if any of them are actually willing to attack us? Or is that perception?
No, that is inside.
Okay.
What's your insight at?
+5.
+5?
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, you're able to tell. It doesn't look like the nobles will actually like go in for an attack unless you agitate them enough. They look like they're more like sort of fooling around, trying to, as it were, the cat playing with its food.
I just do like a hand motion. It's like everything's calm. Just don't worry, like that kind of thing.
And the what you get from the guards, they're doing their job. They're not going to go up aggressively attack someone. They're going to do their job.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go quickly. I'm being called.
Okay. And you all, it's convenient because I'm about to end the session soon. So you all are now sat in front of these, like, I wouldn't call it a castle per se, but castle-like structure with giant, like, bronze gates. And on the gates, it's just orc, all holding, like, it looks like an orc army barreling into you. And it doesn't look like there's any half orcs. It looks like it's full-blooded orcs with, like, these jagged, like, long swords, like, curved, giant, two-handed great swords.
How the fuck did I get here? I followed the wrong people.
I'm pretty sure my character would just be cautious, like his old fuck.
Outside the gate, you see a familiar half orc with a commanding officer's cap on, that sort of Confederate uniform on, a cutlass to his side, and he doesn't look like he's messing around. he's got scars all over his exposed flesh. The uniform's kind of, it's neat, but it's got like, it definitely has got tears in it where it's seen combat. This guy seems like he's been into combat and has survived a lot. And he says, if you're ready, the job begins now. And that is where we will leave this off. And you all level up.